So, how do you guys feel about CLC's new track, No? Trust me, I'm rooting for them and I want them to succeed, win number one, no pun intended. Okay, a little pun intended. Maybe the song has to grow on me over time. I definitely like Black Dress more. I'll say this though, there's something about the chorus in No that has me repeating it, so it'll slowly hook me in. I feel like fans are a bit worried that this is a make or break comeback for CLC. That this could be their last one. I don't know about that, but I can definitely see why fans think it. Cube has another girl group that had a great debut and a great first year so far. So it's believable that a company would abandon or disband them for the group that has a fresh start and are in a good position for success. I'm not saying that's fair, but you guys know that a lot of companies put business and that bottom line before everything else. But you have to give Cube credit at the moment because they do seem to be trying with CLC. They're putting in that effort. They even let Sorn open her own YouTube channel. She's really genuine and fun to watch, by the way. They got Soyeon to come in and help CLC out with the song, so that's awesome to see. By the way, that's how talented Soyeon is and how much confidence Cube has in her. Despite these things though, I can still see where the fear comes from. People look at Cube and other labels as business oriented only. Just look at the whole CLC, IZONE, Lavian Rose situation. I feel like that was a bit of a business decision. A lot of you guys already know about this, but for those who don't, there were a lot of rumors circulating that Lavian Rose was actually supposed to be CLC's comeback song last year. For one reason or another, either Cube or the production team decided to sell or give the song away, which we know eventually lands in the hands of IZONE. The reason that fans came to this conclusion in the first place was because apparently some of the girls were already hinting about something new and coming on their social media, having to do with roses, Rose Day, and things like that. Dropping hints about a new girl crush concept, and then there was a short demo that came out with CLC actually singing Lavian Rose. There was a choreography that was being developed by other dancers with this demo in the background. This definitely fueled the fire, and plus, the producer of Lavian Rose has produced a lot of songs for Cube, so there's that connection. The puzzle pieces definitely fit together, but there were also a lot of people who were debunking this with their own evidence. It just clouded everything up, and I don't think anyone knew 100% what the situation was, except for the parties that were actually involved. Then, recently, CLC were at a press conference for their new album, and they actually talked about Lavian Rose. And that really surprised me because, I thought it would be one of those things that they don't mention again, leave it, let people think whatever, and eventually it'll blow over. Which I felt like it already did blow over. Regardless, I think someone asked them about it again at the press conference. And instead of avoiding it, they handled it very professionally. It seems like what Yeon was saying was the truth, but obviously she wasn't going to disclose everything. She even put a bow at the end of the answer by tying it right back into their new release, like a professional. So, she stated that yes, Lavian Rose was a track that they had recorded. They even finished the recording, so there's that. She said they were surprised when they found out, and obviously it was regrettable. I would interpret that as not as in they regret anything, but more as in it's not an outcome they were wanting. And then again, who wants that anyways? Interpret that how you will, but I feel like they weren't exactly happy about it, maybe a little disappointed, but they also understood how the industry works, and for that reason, they weren't sad about it, like she said. And the part that I love the most was that she even said the track found better owners, so she was being a very good sport about it. Whether she feels that way or not, it was a very mature way to handle the situation and answer the question. Like I said earlier, she wrapped the answer up by tying it back into their new track and saying that if this didn't happen, they wouldn't have this new song. And if you're a fan of their new song and album, that's really good to hear from them. When I first started seeing these rumors that La Vie en Rose was supposed to be CLC's song, I was taken aback a little because it's a really good song in my opinion. I would have loved to see them sing it. Don't get me wrong though, I'm happy that we have the IZONE version too. I didn't watch the whole of Produce 48, so it was this song that got me into them. And crack videos. If you guys want to get into a group super quickly, watch crack videos of them. It's a good way to get into the inside jokes, see how members kind of interact with each other, and really see how fans perceive them. Here's a question for you guys though. IZONE were going to have a lot of eyes and attention on their debut no matter what. After IOI 101, the show itself, people were at least going to check out their debut, even those who didn't watch the entirety of the show. It was up to them to keep that attention and interest and win people over, which I think they've done a great job at so far. I think also because La Vie en Rose was a good song and concept, it kind of reassured fans that they would do well, maybe even turned some naysayers, and brought on new fans and people who are a fan of this kind of concept. It got them a few Rookie of the Years and Best New Artist of the Years. So the question for you guys is, do you think CLC would have seen the same kind of success if they released the track? Instead of Rookie of the Year, would they have won #1 on a music show? Maybe even get an award at one of the bigger shows? Not that those are the end-all be-all or anything. I just think it would probably mean a lot to the members. Would they have garnered the attention that Cube wants them to get? There's a very valid argument that sometimes songs are really, really good, but because the group that sings it doesn't have as big of a following as others, it gets lost in the shuffle. I know that you guys have songs in your playlists that you feel like people should listen to more, even groups themselves. For me, I think LaBoom constantly comes out with great songs, but they're still not getting the attention that I think they deserve. Their last 2 songs, Between Us and Turn It On, were great in my opinion. It's not that people don't think those songs are good, it's just not a lot of people have heard them. And you know what? There should not be any hate toward IZONE for this. We shouldn't blame the groups for this. It's usually just business, like we talked about earlier. Songs get transferred from artist to artist, company to company, all the time. All the time. It's just not always disclosed to the public, but a lot of them are revealed way after the fact. EXID's Up and Down was meant for a solo artist. Think about that for a second. The song that sparked that fan cam and kept them alive as a group. That song wasn't even meant for them. It was meant for Ailey, Hyuna, or Jessie. And out of those 3, I can definitely see Hyuna singing this. The story behind this was that EXID sang the demo, and whoever was making the decisions thought the song fit them the best, and boom, history was made. And thank goodness, because if we look back at it, EXID needed that song much more than the other 3. And hopefully we look back one day and say, thank goodness that IZONE got that song because now they're both doing well. This one is interesting. FX had a song called No More, and that was originally for Ariana Grande's debut album. Kara's Mister, arguably their most famous song and dance, was made for a boy group. And I couldn't find a specific group it was intended for though. Jungkook's Euphoria was actually intended for Justin Bieber. As you can see, it doesn't just happen between Korean artists like CLC and IZONE, but with all artists and all labels around the world. By the way, speaking of IZONE, did you guys see that thing? I think it's real. I thought it was a joke, but it might be real, where you can pay about $37, somewhere in that range, and it also depends on how many members, and then you get a personalized message from them, like a private text or something. It's pretty much an empty conversation because you really can't respond back. I don't know, would you guys do something like that? I know it's kind of random that we just brought this up, but I thought I would ask anyways. Personally, I would probably rather get an Inkigayo sandwich. You know what I mean?